Hi guys, it's Jen here and welcome to Jen's World About Art. So today I'm going to draw and paint two kittens for you. The picture reference I found off Pixabay of these gorgeous little kittens. So I'm just roughing in a drawing now and I'll fiddle with the proportions and dimensions as I go along. So I'm just popping the eyes in on this little guy and trying to figure out where his nose and his eyes should sit within his face. So I sort of line things up with their ears and their eyes, I line up with their nose, and I try and sort of, as I'm looking at the photo, I try and get shapes from the photo that I can sort of connect together to create the facial features. So yeah, his ears are triangles, his eyes are circles, and his nose, the top line of his nose is between the eyes. So that's sort of how I come up with their dimensions visually, because I draw from eye. So now I'm just popping his stripes in. And now draw his little mate in. So there's just a circle for the face and ears are triangles. And they're both looking up. So I've got to try and adjust the drawing so that they look like they're looking up at something up in the sky. Maybe someone's holding a toy for them to play with. So I'm trying to get the impression of them looking upwards. So pop their little stripes on. That helps to give them some depth. Pop his little whisker spots. And as you put the markings in, it gives them some more dimension. So just readjusting little bits, just tweaking. So bring the rubber out and just tidy up that side of his face. I made a little error of shape there. Yeah, cats are quite tough to draw. I find them quite difficult because they do look so flat. It's really hard to make them look like they've got depth to them. So now I'm going in with a little bit of cerulean blue just in their eyes, because these are young kittens. So they've got bright blue eyes, which is quite beautiful. So I'll pop that in both of the little kittens' eyes. And now I'm going in with a mix of ultramarine blue and burnt umber, which makes this browny grey. So because they're both grey kittens, grey stripy kittens, I'm guessing tabbies. So I'm popping the base layer of their grey in where they're going to have grey fur. I'll go over this 2 or 3 times to create a bit of variation in the colour. So all the same colours, so all ultramarine and burnt umber, but different consistencies. So this is a wet wash, so really watery mix, which for the first layer. So I'll pop that into all their grey areas. And I'll leave the white of the paper as their white stripes, as their white coat. They're already starting to look better. So now again, a slightly thicker mix of burnt umber ultramarine into their darker areas. Take that around, and as you can see, it starts to give their little faces a bit of shape. Take it around their eyes. They've got little black lines around their eyes, but at the moment I'm just using the grey. I'll go back in later with a bit of ink. So define their little mouths, correct that as I go. Pop in a bit of fur texture. And now I've gone in with a teeny tiny bit of ultramarine just around the tops of the eyes. They've got a shadowy area at the tops of their eyes. So now I'm just running another coat of the ultramarine burnt umber around this one's back. Bit of fur texture. Just within the areas that I've already marked. So now going in with an even darker mix, thicker mix of ultramarine burnt umber. into their coats and darken up the darkest parts, I mean. Pop a bit of fur texture in around there. Now start on his little mate. Again, it'll probably take 2 or 3 coats to get the fur to look like fur. So, and again with a mid-strength Burnt Umber Ultramarine. Probably got a little bit heavy there, but I can dampen that off with a damp brush. Move it around a little bit. Pop the dark in around their eyes. Use it that way. There we go. Yep, see, I'll move it around with a damp brush and that'll soften it right up. And then I'll go back in after and pop a few more stripes in there. So all the Burnt Umber Ultramarine mix, just different densities, different consistencies. So now I'm going in with a little bit of Payne's Grey for the very darkest bits. Just take that around the edges and around on his nose. Because it'll fade back a little bit. It doesn't dry as dark as it looks quite just here. So it will fade back a little bit lighter. So yeah, that's just a bit of Payne's Grey. Pop it on to his little mate down here. It's very watered down. Take it around his ear. Find his little mouth. Pop a few whiskers in and his whisker spots. Okie dokie. So now I add a few more whiskies. And some fur texture under his chin. And now just a damp brush just to put some shadows in the white areas. It's literally just what's left on the palette, just dip my brush a tiny bit into that and a bit of water, and that's it. I can move it around a little bit, give it a bit of texture. Oh, I'm using a bit of Potter's Pink just in the inner parts of their little ears, because they've got little pink bits in their ears. So now I'm going in with a fountain pen or a dip pen and some black ink just to define the darkest parts around their eyes and their pupils. And I've sort of mucked up that top one a little bit, but I can fix that up. So what I do is I just pop my cloth in and it sucks up that ink, and then I can go over it in a little bit with, I'll pop a little bit of white gouache on there and just cover that ink over, and then I can tidy that up, pop a little bit more blue on there to fix it up. So now I take the ink around the nose. And just tidy up their little lips with this ink. Pop his whisker spots on. Corners of his eyes, just change the shape of their eyes a little bit. Pop their whiskies in. Add some fur around. So now I'm going back in with a little bit of a grey marker and just sort of lightening up. I popped a couple of whiskers on there and go back in with my Posca pen just to pop the highlights in their eyes. Just adjust the shape of their pupils a little bit. Now just redefine the outline of those eyes. Okie dokie guys, we're just about done. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love it if you click like and subscribe. If you click on the bell icon, you'll get to see videos as I upload them. It'll give you a reminder. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day and I shall see you guys next video. Okie dokie, bye.